Do you even take Kirk Cousins at 3? I don't even do that. I'd rather have Justin Fields or maybe even Trey Lance. I don't get it. But speaking of Lance, like he's one of the favorites for number 4 to Atlanta. For me, it's either Lance or Kyle Pitts, and I can't really decide between the two. So like sources Charlie Campbell spoke to say that the Falcons are zeroing in on Kyle Pitts, which could be the case. And we're also hearing some reports. Cam Marino, for example, from USA Today, who got the Falcons pick right last year, he thinks it's going to be Trey Lance. So I could see it. You know, they could be talking to different people within the organization. We know last year the Giants, like some of the people in the front office wanted Andrew Thomas, some wanted Tristan Wirfs, and then it became Thomas. Like so, these teams aren't really may not even be decided yet. So where do you think the Falcons go?
Yeah, this one is really tough. I almost think this one's tougher than the 49ers pick because at least we know the 49ers are going to take a quarterback no matter what. So, you know, that might not screw up the mock too much if they don't take Mac Jones or do take Mac Jones or whatever they do. But here, Atlanta, if they don't take a quarterback, like that's going to send 2 prospects into kind of a mini fall. And we don't know where they're going to land. Right now, I have Lance mocked to the Falcons. I just think we know Terry Fontenot, their new GM, likes Trey Lance. And we also know that the Falcons aren't likely to be picking this high again. They should be able to fix some of their issues, especially on defense. Their offense should be really good under first-year coach Arthur Smith. Like, I think that's going to be much better. And yeah, Kyle Pitts would be an amazing upgrade for them and would give Matt Ryan yet another great weapon to work with. But I think if you just look at Trey Lance and what he needs to succeed, he probably needs at least a full season on the sideline. He probably needs to be placed behind a veteran quarterback to learn more while he acclimates himself to the game. So I think in many ways, this is a great fit for Atlanta because they can have him sit for a whole year as an understudy to Ryan. He won't be pushing Ryan for the job yet. Maybe he will in 2022. But then they're set up for the future. We've seen teams do this before. Granted, it has been at times like for the Packers when they did it with Jordan Love last year, it made no sense because their Super Bowl window was open. I don't know if the Falcons have a Super Bowl window open right now. You could argue that they might be a playoff team if they can fix their defense or upgrade their offense a little bit more. But I think this is a good time for them to take on a project quarterback like Lance, let him develop and see what he becomes. But, you know, I could see them going Kyle Pitts, but I just think with Lance there and with the timetable he would fit in Atlanta would just make so much sense. Like I want him to go there because I think it would be best for him because if he goes somewhere where he has to start right away, it could be a really rough go of it for him.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I don't think the Falcons have a Super Bowl window. We're hearing rumors that they're going to trade Julio Jones. Like they have almost no cap space, so they have to do it. Alex Mack is gone. Their center, their offensive line was already declining, so they have to fix that. They have no running game. Their defense is bad. So they're very far away from not only reaching the playoffs, but competing with the Buccaneers in their own division. So I think they have to move on. We've seen this formula before where, you know, these teams get rookie quarterbacks under these contracts and they can really build their roster because they don't have much money dedicated to quarterbacks. And so I think that's what Atlanta has to do. Like, I don't think Atlanta's winning a Super Bowl with Matt Ryan. Like they had their chance earlier, but he's just cost too much money and they have way too many holes. I think they have to start over. And I think they realize that. I think with the Julio Jones trade talk, I think that's kind of them waving the white flag. So I agree with the comment that Finstock posted. I think that the Julio Jones trade discussion means that Atlanta's taking a quarterback. So I think it's going to be Trey Lance, but you can't count out Kyle Pitts. It could still be him. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think that's dead right. And like a lot of people point to like, oh, you only have the rookie contract for 5 years, including the 5th-year option. So do you really want to waste one of them sitting with Lance sitting behind Ryan for a year or maybe even 2 because that Ryan contract's just so hard to move? But the important point to remember is 1, Lance needs time to develop, like more so than any other prospect in this class. And 2, Matt Ryan, like, you know, he could eventually become a good trade chip. And even if you can't get him off the books, like you can get something for him to help build around your team. And you'd still have 3 years to build around Lance, even if it takes you extra time to get out of the contract for Ryan. So I think it just makes perfect sense to go after him right now and kickstart a rebuild while you can still remain somewhat competitive with Ryan on the field.
Yeah. Coach Paul asks, "Where's Charlie?" He's talking to like a billion people in the NFL right now. So, yeah, I'd love to have Charlie on, but he's super busy. So maybe after the draft, we can grade all the picks. So.